When going over these kite spots, it's important to remember that in some situations, some of these spots will be useless and some of them will be amazing. So you want to make sure that you use the height advantage spots against melee classes. When you use low visibility and the line of sight versus like projectile or range classes. You want to use no ports versus like revenants and thieves. And you want to use the transition spots, which are just good generally versus a lot of things. Djinn's Dominion is an interesting map because there's a lot of line of sight and terrain on the map, but it's kind of out of the way of you to use most of the time. So a lot of the kite spots are very basic, or you have to go to really extreme lengths to get to them. So let's start out and show the alternate exit. So normally you have these two exits, one goes to home node, one goes to mid, and then you have the third exit, which goes out the side here if you're getting spawn camped, and that can go to home as well, but you're generally going to just take out the normal exits. And back here you have a little bit of terrain to jump on if you get chased. This brings players really far away from objectives, so if you get chased here outnumbered, it's pretty good to basically get them off the map if they're going to invest that many resources to try to kill you. Then over here you've got some planters that you can go in, pretty basic. And once you get to the plaza, there are some kite spots. So over here you can jump in these barrels and get a little bit of height advantage over here. You can go down here and there's low visibility. Over here is a little bit of a weird jump. You can't get up here normally, but if you jump into this little slope here, you can get up. So you have to jump into the right side here of this pillar, and then you get a little bit of height once you do that first jump, and then you can do the second jump to get over. And that's pretty good because it allows you to lose some people sometimes. There isn't much over here other than just line of sight with these pillars. And over here you can port up this ledge, and these stairs are, it's kind of like a shortcut to get up the stairs. But also over here is a really good spot. You can stand on the planter, or you can go behind the planter, which is really good low visibility line of sight. So heading into the mid node area, you have this little spot. You can get up to these planks. If you stand right here, so where the kind of, it looks like the planks are kind of changing from a parallel to a perpendicular sort of arrangement, and then you just jump up from there and you press forward a little bit after you jump up, and you can get that spot, and you'll get up to these planks, which are nice because you can go behind here as well and line of sight over there, or you can go over here and line of sight over there, and then you've got the height advantage and no melee. Over here is an interesting spot as well because there's a thing you can jump dodge to, and that will allow you to get on top of the signpost, if I can get it, yep, and then you can jump on top of this for even more height, which is really good for avoiding melee attacks. And over here there's some nice boxes that you can jump on and go behind here to line of sight. And over here there's good line of sight as well because there's a little bit of a lip on the corner, so people can't really hit you from the node. Over here you can jump on these little ledges, and you can also, if you have a leap skill, you can jump on top of this little stall here. After a minute or so into the match, this middle area will open up, which allows you access from both sides of the map more easily. And you can jump into the middle of this planter here, which gives you a little bit of height, but otherwise it's mostly for low visibility and line of sight. Once you get into the middle area though, this is a very good kite spot because you go up this staircase, and then you've got a lot of line of sight with these planters, and you cannot jump onto this planter, but you can jump onto this one, if you jump into the very middle of this area, you can land straight in the middle, and then you can jump to the top from here, and that's really good for avoiding melee, but you have to be very precise with that jump. Then you can go up here, and once you get to this point, it's a no port spot. So if people chase you, all of this area you can't be ported to from anywhere below. So it's very safe against revenants and thieves. And if the thief manually jumps up here with you, you can still use these planters and stuff. This fountain here is a no port spot. So it doesn't look like it is, but it's a pretty good no port spot, and it's not very good against melee though, which usually no port spots are good versus melee as well, but it's pretty easy to get into the spot, but it is a no port spot. And you just have regular line of sight around the node like this, nothing special. Then when you get over here, if you stand at the back of the box and then jump straight at this corner, you can get on top of this like doorway, and then from here you can even get on top of the roof, and this gives you really good line of sight, and yeah, it's really hard for people to get to you up here, so unless they have like really wide ranged AoEs, you're going to be super safe up here. Heading into the pier, you have these little boxes here, which are just kind of nice. They're like the only thing you can use while going between the nodes to get a little bit of height advantage against melee classes. And all of this right here is an invisible wall right here, so if you're like trying to shoot through this, you can't actually shoot through it, so that's good line of sight. Once you get into the node, there is this box over here that you can jump on, and you can get up to this secondary platform, which is a no port spot. And you can even go higher if they chase you by jumping from here to here, and then you've got even more height advantage. And you can also line of sight back here, which is kind of nice. This spot is a very difficult jump, but a very good jump to do. So what you have to do is jump out as far as you can, and then as soon as you get to the corner here, you want to turn left, so you do like that. And this is a pretty obscure spot right here. So if you jump up to here, then you can like walk on this narrow ledge. It gets like even narrower right here, you can see that. So what you want to do is jump across that part. It's kind of hard to do. You need to keep moving, so jump across that part, and then once you get to here, you can jump to these little sticking out like wood pieces, and you can go over to this edge, but at this point, by the time you get here, it's like already good enough. No one's really going to chase you this far, and you've only got more risk that you'll fall at this point. So generally from here, this is good enough. Or if you have a leap skill, you can go over here, and this is even safer because you can change your positioning quite a bit and survive by just standing on top of these like cloths. Then you have the side over here, which is the alternate exit for the other team, and there's not really as much terrain over here, so you generally don't want to kite anyone back here because it's going to be harder for you to survive. You do have this tree here, and you can use this little set of boxes as a height advantage, but yeah, there's really not that much over here as opposed to the other side. Terrain is not only important for kiting and surviving, but it's also important for understanding the ranges of your abilities. Because as you can see here, I'm using my auto attack to cleave the down body in stealth. I don't know what kind of CCs that they could be using on me while they're in stealth, so I could be avoiding CCs or other counter pressure that could prevent me from doing as much damage as possible by using the terrain. So in other words, Learning the ranges of your abilities allows you to get the maximum potential out of your survivability and out of your killing potential. And here you can see I'm using the terrain there to give stealth to my teammate in line of sight so that the enemy that we're trying to outnumber here may not know that we're coming at them in stealth by stacking my stealth behind a wall rather than out in plain sight. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you like this kind of video, give it a like and subscribe for more. Check out the playlist of all the other maps and their kiting spots. And I will see you guys next time.